On today's episode of Living Life Out Loud podcast, we've got Lisa Ali, a woman that has changed her pain into purpose, who is committed to supporting other women with their health and well-being whilst building a legacy for her daughter. We can't wait for you to hear her story.
So welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
To the podcast. It's obviously Living Life Out Loud. So, as I like to ask everybody, can you just tell me a bit about yourself?
My name is Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a unique name, I know, but I'm from South Asian community. I'm Bangladeshi.
Okay.
I was born here, but I grew up in Bangladesh.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a bit of a mix of everything. I've got the British culture mixed in me as well as the Bangladeshi. So I do understand where the Bangladeshi community is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my knowledge comes from. I grew up in Pariba, Aston. I'm a personal trainer. I've been a single parent. It's a very big part of my life since I was 17. I was 17 when I had my daughter, yeah. I've been working as a fitness coach for over 10 years now. I've worked in many different leisure centres, gyms. I've worked in communities, worked with shelters, refugees as well. And about 3 years ago now, I started a company called Augmented Lifestyle. So I'm delivering fitness activities and coaching within the communities.
Okay. So there's a lot of different, things that have come to. So let's just start with the general fitness. Like obviously you're, if that's what you've been doing for the last 10 years, and it's kind of now come into this augmented lifestyle.
Yeah.
What kind of were some of the key drivers that potentially got you into thinking this is the route that I want to go down?
When I first started fitness coaching, I was working in gyms. It wasn't something I dreamt of doing all my life. I was always into fitness.
Okay.
So it's something
So
I
would you
enjoy.
say it's a passion then?
It was a passion,
definitely.
yeah. But I think the moment I saw where the need was during COVID time, I think it was a wake-up call.
COVID was a wake-up call
Yeah,
for
for many of us.
many of us, definitely.
Yeah, and when I and that time I started working in shelters and a few refugees near my house, and I thought I'll just go and deliver some sessions. So I was doing it for free at that time, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, oh my god, there's these women, because with my own background as a child bride, I was 15 when I got married.
Oh wow.
So I started connecting, and I was like, wow, I feel this. I can see where that need is, and it's not just about fitness. It's not about lifting weights and running for a mile or running for 30 minutes a day. It's about building confidence. It's about coming out of your shell, finding yourself. So it meant a lot more to me than just fitness. And I think that's when I found my real niche. I found the reason, the purpose behind my career.
So what's so interesting that you say that it's not just about, I don't know whether it's like you said, lifting weights or going on the treadmill or those kind of activities. It's not just about as well looking good.
Yeah.
It's about having that, it by like partaking in any kind of fitness really does help you both mentally and physically.
Yes.
And you said something there that how it kind of helped with the confidence. What kind of, so when you was doing these kind of sessions in COVID to help in, what was the areas again in?
Within Aston and Pariba.
Yeah, so how did you see anything from that, you said obviously you connected to them, but did you see any kind of, I don't know, outcome within the community from what you was doing?
Yes, I did. So one of them I was working with, and I still am in touch with a few women from there, and they were saying that one lady, she came up to me after the session. I did four weeks as a free sessions for them.
Okay.
And I continued after that, but she came up to me and she was just like, oh, when I come out of the shelters and I want to be like you. And it really touched my heart, and I think it made me think where I was when I first went to shelter with my daughter, and I was young, and what did I want to do? I didn't have anyone to guide me and say, do this, do that, or you can join these groups, or there are opportunities out there. It was when you end up in a shelter or when you end up in certain situation, you're so focused in your own struggles, and the support workers or whoever's coming to you, they're giving the minimum or giving what you need at that time, not outside the box, if you know what I mean. When you're coming in with fitness, I find dancing itself, when I'm dancing, I'm free. I can think.
I love dance.
Yeah, that's the way to connect with yourself,
Love
isn't it? You connect within yourself. And when they are dancing, they're happy, they're joking, laughing with each other, they're falling apart, but you know what, they're doing it. You know what I mean? They're picking up. Every week they're getting better at it, and they're finding that, oh, first time they're like, no, everybody's gonna look at me, she might judge me. But the next week they're coming in, everybody else is doing it, let me join, let me do 5 minutes with them. And then the confidence is building each and every time. And they're like, oh, Lisa, I want to do this, I want to get into fitness, or can I go for a walk sometimes? We've got walking groups as well that they can join. Now, obviously, in time, I've developed as a company as well, and we are working in partnership with DWP, NHS, social prescribers. We're working with mental health team as well. So we are able to now provide a lot more than just exercise classes. Where at that time it was exercise classes. It was just going in, delivering a circuit session or a Zumba session and coming back out. I used to feel so happy doing that, and I always wondered, how do they feel? So we started taking some feedback and reports back from them.
They're like, love a bit of data.
Yes. When they come out after the session, they would say, because I'm in this home all day, I don't have a job, I can't go out, I'm in this situation, and in my head I'm stuck in that situation. So that 1 hour you come here and we do exercise, sometimes I'll stay behind, have a cup of tea, have a chat with them, and they felt fresh. So I realised that obviously it's not just about physical activity. When you're exercising, obviously it's quite good to release tension, release emotional release and everything, but it's so much more. It's the stress relief for us as well. It's an hour away just focusing on yourself.
I 100% totally agree with all of what you've just said. And like, I've recently realised, so like, for example, I've started going back to the gym, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to do a bit of this, do a bit of that, and I wasn't really understanding like what I was getting out of it, if that makes sense. But recently I just sat and decided, I was like, oh, I mean, I still like going to the gym, it's great to kind of release tension, things like that, but I thought to myself, hang on a minute, why am I not going swimming? I love swimming. Like, I can't like, when I get into that water, whether I'm doing a length or I'm just like plodding around or whatever, it gives me a different type of feeling afterwards, if that makes sense. Yes, I can feel like all my muscles have, like, I'm like out of breath after so many times, but it gives such a different type of calming, relaxed sensation. And I think from what you were just saying, it's like, it's not just about the physical activity, it's about kind of connecting with something, whether that's connecting with new people or connecting with yourself, or connecting to something that's kind of gives you a different. I mean, the other thing is what you said is, if you're sitting around all home and you've got no job, no things, you're overthinking, it brings you down. But actually, if you get out and do something and you work, or like work on your body or whatever it is, you always come out better.
You release hormones, release happy hormones, oxytocin, you feel that stuff, you're in that moment, because we're so lost in life. Most of the time we're looking to go to work or looking after our children. What's the best thing I can do? What's available for me? How do I make the ends meet, especially for women in that situation at that time? That's all they're thinking of. That's all I did. Looking for the next thing. I worked in loads of different places, and I never thought. I worked night shifts in Costco's in the evening, Poundland doing the shelves, and never thought like, I need to go into fitness and I need that second to release some hormones in my body. I wasn't aware of it. So they don't know how the brain's working, how the body's working, and no one at that time came forward to say you can do this. So when you are training, you're releasing all that hormones, you're giving yourself that moment. We need that break away from the world.
I mean, and just going back, like what you've just said, what kind of what was the thing that kind of, you said you really enjoyed fitness, it was like a passion, but you was also like work, but you didn't necessarily know how to go, not necessarily go about that, but you was obviously working, you was focusing on what you was focused on at that time. What was that shift like for you? How did you break? Was there anything kind of support around you? Was there anything that kind of made you think, hang on, no, I can go into this fitness route?
As in initially when I first
initially
started. I think what happened at that time, I had an operation. I've always had issues. I've been diagnosed with endometriosis, and after that come out and I had sciatica that had me moving, and I was only 24, 25, and I was just like young. Very young. Yeah. When I look back now, oh my god, that's young. I'm giving away my age, but knowing that I'm so young and I'm struggling to move, I've been to doctors, I've been to physiotherapists, and then I started taking control over my own health. I started looking at meals, what can I eat, how can I lose weight, how can I better my own health in general. Then I went to college and I was like, let me see if I can do a personal training course. And bear in mind, I didn't go to high school, so as a child I missed out the whole opportunity of going to high school. I didn't do my GCSEs or anything, so it was quite difficult for me to get into courses, do any kind of course, to even get a job. So I wasn't equipped completely to get a job, so I was doing small courses here and there. So I had to do my level 2, level 3 in English, level 2 English and maths, and then I did my personal training level 2 and 3 at that time, and that just got me into the fitness industry. And from there on I've done a lot of CPD courses. And I think when I did that course, it was more for myself, for my own well-being, because I realized I'm young and I need to start taking care of myself, because if I'm not well, and I nearly died when I went to hospital, I had internal bleeding, so it hit me, my daughter was 6 years old, and I could have died, she could have lost me. What would happen to her now? And that was my journey, going into fitness for my own health. And from there on, it just, life took me in this journey that made me go into this direction and find my own purpose.
And I think it's something that I've talked about quite a lot, is that unfortunately sometimes we don't, and I don't mean it from a selfish point of view, I mean it from just circumstance, environment, stuff like that. Sometimes we don't put ourselves first, and like you're saying, if you're in that situation and it hits you, like my child's 6 years old, what's gonna happen if I, not necessarily if I kind of don't get fit or don't do this or don't do, what's gonna happen, because we are leaving that legacy to our children and other people. And so I'm a big believer of, sometimes you've got to work on yourself, however that looks for different people, to be the best version of yourself, so they can see the best version of you, and
that's it,
and lead by example. So I 100% totally understand where you're coming from, like, hang on a minute, what do I need to do, or what can I do next, or is this what's going to happen if
I wasn't around for my daughter for the rest of the life, and what life am I going to give her if I'm unwell all the time? That also came from my mom, so she's always been unwell since the time I remember her. She's always got something, one or the other going on, always moaning, always grunting. We don't have a great relationship, so I moved away from it, and I can look and I'm like, I'm not giving that to my daughter. I don't want her to have a sick mother all the time. And now she's on the other side, like she's like, I can't be bothered with a fit mother all the time. So it's like, it's one or the other.
She's running around circles around me.
I know.
Literally.
So it's one or the other now for her. So it's about actually giving them a better lifestyle. Definitely, it's about being the role model where you want to be, and people have their own mind. They can pick up what they want to take from you, and the same way I've picked up. And if you look at yourself, other people, you only take what applies to you. That's how world works. When I'm going out to deliver sessions now, I'm always obviously all positive, everything that we can help people with, we bring that in. They will only take what they will, but you have to continue being that person, consistency is the key, and it's not just about when you're bodybuilding or when you're eating well and living a healthy life. You have to be consistent in your behavior too.
I agree. So it's really kind of becoming that role model every single day when you wake up and go to sleep, and everything that you do, and I guess that's really important, as like which you've already said, really important for for the people that come to you and the fitness classes going forward. So just going back as well, I wanted to say you mentioned earlier about not when you was in the situation where you were, where was you in, you didn't have much support.
Bangladesh or the shelter?
The shelter, yeah. So you said you was in the shelter, and and I know firsthand that you might be given I don't know, a support worker, or you might be given another, all the official support, but you don't always get that actual.
No, I came back to my family after the shelter. After a couple of days, I wasn't there for a very long time because I also couldn't speak English. So
Okay.
I grew up in Bangladesh. I came to the UK when I was 11. So my mom then took me to Bangladesh when I was 15. So I missed out a chunk of my life, not going to school and things. So my English wasn't the greatest at that time. So I didn't know the support was given to me. I did have someone help me, and I really can't remember her name anymore. But she helped me getting some hardship funding, money. See, the help you're mostly getting is to do with money, the care, the support, what's around. But if all of the support's available around you, but there's a barrier, there is language barrier, or there's a cultural barrier, it's that part is quite difficult to cross then.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, because obviously sometimes if that barrier can also, because we work with a lot of domestic abuse shelters as well, and it's a similar thing in terms of there's that barrier for them to kind of, yes, there might be funding, or yes, there might be support to get a house or whatever, but sometimes it's that kind of real connection to somebody that might need a little bit of support or help to go forward. And I think maybe if there was more availability, like with the kind of like you was doing in COVID, where you can get more people potentially together in communities and stuff, then you can build relationships with other people, and then that kind of can help them to grow and gain some confidence in what they want to do going forward. And because that sounds really daunting to me when you're in a situation and the barrier maybe could be a communication barrier or something like that. I mean, obviously I've never necessarily experienced that, but I can see how that could be so
daunting. Yes, it is. It just feels like there's no, this is again being about the role model. I've known Dee for some time now, and I think this is what we have to keep doing, keep going, keep finding people, keep trying to help. It does feel like end of the world. I just felt for a long time in my life, am I ever going to come out this hardship? Am I ever going to be able to do anything in my life? Can I give my daughter a better future? And when I look back, it was really difficult. It was really difficult, and I had to find my way out. And it's also about surrounding yourself with positive people. If the people I had at that time didn't have better knowledge or better intention for me at that necessarily, they did. It's about your environment that you're in. So if you're not in a environment where people are not pushing and pulling each other, they're not supporting each other, you're very less likely to find that support you're looking for, because you don't even know what you're looking for, because it has to be triggered. And that's why we go into places, we talk to people. I talk about, sometimes in my classes I'll just randomly talk about anything, as good as talking about, anything about endometriosis, and they're like, and I had this one workshop I delivered recently, and we were talking about endometriosis, and they all shared the same symptoms, women, and they were like, we didn't even know it was a condition. They didn't even know, because they're just like, but everybody gets a period, you're in pain, so I get it too. So that's the response they get. They don't even know. They're not even
Oh
clued up.
yeah, I can see that definitely
Yes.
happening, to be honest.
So that's when then you know, okay, I can now deliver something to them. I know what they need. But if they didn't know, they can't come to you and ask you for help because they don't know what they're asking for. And that barrier there is very difficult to cross.
It's really, because they don't know what they're
It's about having
asking for.
yeah. They don't know what they're asking. They don't know what they want to ask for.
So it's sorry, that's just really stunned me, because that's the no it's a good thing, because I'm like, they don't know what they're asking for. It's because, you know, like for example, like with like endometriosis, and I know that this has really been highlighted over the last couple of months. Like lots of people are talking about it much more. Same with menopause and things like that. So the conversations are happening, but it like, and it's quite a common thing, like quite a lot.
Yeah.
And you know, women, we just tend to just
deal with
Deal with
just
it.
live with it. I'm just gonna get comfortable.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Carry on.
Getting interested now. Yeah, I think that's the thing with women. When we're having our periods, it's painful. We all know that it's painful, because you're bleeding for 7 days of the week, but in the month, and that's it. But they're not looking at the other symptoms that come with it. That nausea, hunger is one of them. Oh my god, I'm always hungry. Temperature. You have all the other symptoms. Some people get faint as well because of the blackouts they're getting. Then they don't realize you're not supposed to be getting all of these symptoms. If you are getting these symptoms, you need to go to doctors and get checked out. And then you have to translate into their languages, which is quite difficult as well. Luckily, I speak other 2 languages, which is easier to speak to just the Asian community.
Yeah.
If I'm going out door now, like somebody came to my class the other day and she speaks Swahili and I can't speak Swahili, so I'm like, okay, I need to now find somebody that can come. It's understanding what they need, how they speak, so then explaining it to them properly. That can only happen if obviously they're willing to also take that knowledge in. Yeah.
Which can also be quite hard. Do you find that once you've kind of set the initial question out, or the kind of the beginning, would you know what endometriosis is like, do you find that once women have said, you know, within the communities that you're delivering it to, do you think that majority are like interesting, or is it a bit of both?
Once you trying to find, so when I did that session with them, and I think I mentioned it because I was diagnosed with it.
Yeah.
And most of the communities, anybody who's delivering a community service, it's because of their own reason. They always have a personal reason behind it. What triggered, something happened, then that led to opening up their own, finding their passion and reason. I started talking about endometriosis and autoimmune diseases, and we were talking about rheumatoid arthritis as being one of them. And when we mentioned it, a lot of women started speaking up, I have this, I have that. And until you start actually mentioning these random things in a random session, no one's going to talk about it, because it's not a thing that they don't think it's a big deal. It's like having a headache. They think it's migraine all the time. So I just have migraine because I've had this headache on the side of my. This could be your husband giving you that. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. That's like interesting. So, what about? Let's go more into this. You know, the augmented lifestyle. I'm so intrigued by the whole concept of it.
Augmented lifestyle is focused on women from marginalised communities. It is my intention, my purpose, to be out in the community and grow as much as we can, reach as many people as possible, and make them aware and spread the awareness of healthy living and fitness.
When you said that, your face just like lit up a little bit more. like it was like you could tell that you were so, I want to say, like, proud to be talking about it. You just went completely, your face like glowed.
Yeah, I am very proud of Augmented Lifestyle, I must say. It's changed my life. It's brought the real purpose into my life. I find I don't stress at all delivering Augmented, delivering any projects through Augmented. We get funding to deliver some projects, and the people I'm coming across, the way they are feeling after they go back from their sessions, that's the feeling I take home with me, and it makes my day. Makes me feel like, okay, I'm doing something now, and I'm changing lives. I'm making the impacts I intended to make. And from coming from, whether it's Bangladesh, child marriage shelter, whatever, all of this, that person is really happy now delivering that same program to these ladies out there. People who didn't know there's support available, people who don't know what's going on, even in their mind, that the words they can't find to express their feelings, I can now relate to them. I can now go and give them the word. So yeah, Augmented is very close to my heart. It's my baby.
Okay, so how, for the women out there, how could they get involved in this?
So most of our classes are free, so it is very accessible for them, so they can just attend. They can just come in on the day and I'll take a register. We do have 23 other instructors on board, so they are everywhere in Birmingham delivering sessions. So women are free to go in, to just walk into the session with a carer or support worker or by themselves, to just sign on the day. And our instructors are very accommodating. I'm very picky with who I work with.
Good.
So
like that.
Whenever they're delivering, it's making sure they're connecting with the people, and you have to find the energy as well, the people you're working with. We do get a lot of referrals from mental health services. Ways for Wellbeing, CIC is being one of them. She's constantly referring people. We work really close together. I'm working with Arts Therapy UK as well, so we are 3 partners. We do have health and social care, DWP, NHS, social prescribing team. So every location that we go to, we are working with the PCN team in that location, and we do get referrals from them.
And that's massive, that is. And like what you said, it's definitely grown.
Yes.
Over the last
more.
3 years, did you say?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, much more in last 1 year, to be honest, because the first 2 years were just about kind of getting there, wasn't it? It's like just crawling. She was a little baby, now she's growing up.
Yeah, just need to say hi to you as well. So.
She's taller than me.
Well, I was about to say, just actually might be taller than you. So we was talking about, obviously, I just wanted to come back onto just to one more thing. In terms of living life out loud, what does that mean to you? If you was to, if you're going to say to your daughter, this is how I'm living life out loud, or this is how I want to show you how to live life out loud, what does that mean to you, and what does it look like, do you think?
My living life out loud looks like my daughter. She's my little fireball. She is. I call her my fireball because she's loud, she's gutsy, she's confident, she's loving, she's caring. Oh God, she's everything I couldn't be at her age. And I think,
oh, that's so lovely.
Don't get me emotional now. I think, I couldn't live my life any louder than what she is. She's a loud one. She's my first project. She was saying that to me in the car. So, Mom, make sure you say to them that I'm your first project, okay?
I love that. I love how you say that.
I didn't intend to. There was many ways. Loads of times in my life, I thought I nearly left it. Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. There was times I behaved like my mom. There's times I behaved like I shouldn't have, and I thought, oh my God, am I gonna do something bad? Is this gonna turn out wrong? I've only got the one, so I'm not getting another chance to, But that's not how it works, right? And I think, so to me, it's about being yourself, confident. Be confident. Don't be ashamed. That's one thing with women. People will have you down when they can shame you. And no matter what you've done in your life, take accountability for it. Be proud of it. We all make mistakes.
I love that.
And you're just going to stand up and,
I think just because I've got, single parent, I have my son as well, and he's nearly 13 now. And when you said, she was your first project, I think knowing that my child has learnt how to be themselves, be kind, compassionate, and empathetic to people and really kind of interested in whatever it is that are growing and want to develop. And I can for you to say how passionate you just spoke about your child was really really hit me. And I think what we're doing is we want to do better for ourselves, we want to do better for the legacy that we're going to leave, whether that's our child or the impact that we have on the communities. And I think just by how proud you've just talked about your daughter as well, and it's just really really nice to hear.
Thank you. I think main thing is obviously you've got your son. When you're thinking about creating a legacy, I think to me legacy is about everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it? You make an impact into the community, into the world out there. But for me, it's always started from my daughter, because she's the first person, and he's the first person who's going to watch you every day, watch your behavior, watch the tone you use, watch how you behave when you're angry, watch how you behave when you're loving, watch how you behave when you're sad. He will pick up on those energies. He will read before you can know it. I wasn't aware of this myself, like raising her, and I just thought, looking back, wow, she took so much in.
Yeah.
She will talk about certain times in our life when it was really bad, it was really down, and I was going through hardship. And I was just like, I don't want you to remember them, Sammy. I want you to remember good stuff and happy stuff. But she's like, yeah, but those are the moments that made me think how strong you are. And I just thought,
wow,
she's seeing another side. Even she witnessed those moments that was really hard for me to remember, and it's painful that my daughter had to watch them. But they look at you and they think you're strong, and that made me happy. And I think my legacy is my daughter. So when the world sees, when the people see, when she's walking into a class with me and they're like, this is who Lisa raised. Yes, I was alone. Yes, I was 15 when I got married. Yes, I did all of that things, but I still managed to raise a girl who's going to uni, who's doing really well for herself. And she's outspoken, she's confident, she's taking it on, she's living the life, and she's happy. Do you know what I mean? You want to see your child happy, you want to see your child healthy. And that's your first project. Once you create that, once you pass that on, that's your legacy completed. But we've still got a lot to go.
Still got lots to do. Yeah,
lots to do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You're only at the college stage, university stage.
You're only there.
No, I'm only at year 8 stage.
So you've got a long way.
I've got a long time yet.
But it's good that we're picking it up now.
I know, it is, and and I think I just really kind of connect with exactly what you've said in regards to that. That they are going to really show you who you are, and they are really going to, and the effort that you've put into them and how they become when they're adults and whatever is really going to showcase how you have supported them, how you've parented them, the tools and techniques that you have given them to become.
Yeah, this is it. They're watching you, just the way the world's watching you. When you are working with other women, other communities, they're watching you.
Yeah.
You're watching them. So if we are watching someone as a role model, what's the stuff we watch about them?
Yeah.
In the same way they're watching you, but they haven't got anybody else but you as a role model, as you as their primary caregiver.
Yeah.
So that's what they're looking at. So yeah. I think.
Well, that's all I have for today. So thank you for joining our podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.